can confirm. But yeah, hey everybody, welcome back to the Adroits Dota 2, well, the Adroits TT Esports Dota 2 Weekly. As always, I am Basket bringing you guys this game, and this is going to be our round 2 matchup between iNfernity.International and Striderxd. If you're looking for that on the Binary Beast brackets, and the transition seemed to have freaked out a little bit for me there. Got some dropped frames detected. Hopefully, I'm still live with you guys. It is still recording right now, so yeah. Okay, getting underway with the draft. We're going to have a Batrider and a Darkseer banned out by iNfernity, and it's going to be actually an Undying and a TA banned here by Striderxd, and not sure if that's what their actual name is. That's what I'm going to be calling them, but as you can see, Striderxd is actually one of their players, so who knows. Keeper of Light's going to be the first pickup for them. Magnus does remain in the pool, as does Nyx Assassin. In fact, and Nyx definitely not a bad pickup against a Keeper of the Light, so wouldn't be too surprised to see that right now, and that is going to be the pickup here by iNfernity along with a Shadow Demon. And yeah, not sure what the heck happened when I tried to hit that transition hotkey. Everything sort of went to hell, but looks like we are more or less back. Fingers crossed. Anyway, so we're going to see a Shadow Demon pickup here. Rubik's going to be taken, and perhaps a Phantom Lancer already by the Dire side. They do already have the Keeper of the Light. Wisp as well is a pickup that I suppose I should have mentioned. Shadow Demon, not a bad pickup, and as always, fantastic sort of at dealing with a PL, just by creating your own army of PLs, frankly. So what's it going to be? They've already picked up their 2 supports. They can pick up a farmer, and it is just going to be the Phantom Lancer. So the question right now for iNfernity is, can they deal with it? Phantom Lancer, frankly, very, very strong at the moment, and I think that's it's not something that's inarguable, but he is very, very powerful as far as carries go. And one of the best ways to deal with him is to run an offensive tri-lane, and it looks like perhaps iNfernity might be heading in that direction right now. The Gyrocopter pickup is good as well, since you've obviously got Flak Cannon and things to try and clear out the illusions, and looks like I completely dropped my connection to the server there when I tried to use the transition, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully you guys will, looks like you guys are gonna have to refresh the stream to get back on, so anyway, heading into the ban phase. We've already got the Dire with both of their supports, so iNfernity can try and secure themselves a nice matchup on mid. And awesome, thank you Griff in chat for confirming that things are working again. Yeah, it looks like I just had a complete reset to the some sort of weird XSplit crash. Hopefully it won't happen again when I try and change scenes to the in-game scene. And I couldn't actually use the hotkeys. I had to click. But anyway, that's beside the point. We've got some exciting Dota ahead of us right now. And heading into the bans, it's actually going to be a Nature's Prophet banned out here by Striderxd, and actually a little bit unorthodox as far as the draft goes for them. Rubik PL, but not all that surprising. And actually Magnus made it all the way through that first phase, so showing a difference in priorities for various teams, which is definitely nice to see, especially with how the draft sort of works out at the moment. Yes, there are staple picks, yes, there are stable picks, but teams can still mix it up a little bit and make sort of unusual picks work as well, and I think that it has been evidenced quite a bit by the rise of Clockwork, again, as an offlaner in recent weeks. That has been sort of brought around by a change to his cogs and things like that. So iNfernity, they're just banning out a couple of mids right now, and it's actually just sort of solo laners at the moment for Striderxd. So I can definitely agree with that. Perhaps suspecting that the offensive tri-lane is going to be coming their way. It could be Nyx, Shadow Demon plus Gyro. Nyx could be heading towards mid, and then they look to pick up another support instead of the Nyx. Plenty of options there. Nyx, definitely not a bad support, especially against a Keeper of the Light-based defensive tri-lane. Obviously, you can mana burn him to keep him chakraing himself, and you can also just keep using the Spiked Carapace to reflect the Illuminates back. And in iNfernity, obviously, we saw them in the finals of this tournament last week, so we definitely know that they're not slackers, and hopefully the execution on that offensive tri-lane, if they're going to be running it, will be enough to shut down the PL's farm. And it's a great way to deal with the Phantom Lancer, frankly. If he gets off to a good start, if he gets the ball rolling, then it's very, very difficult to stop him. If he can make it to that late game, unless there aren't multiple threats and you can just lock him down and kill him, then like we saw in the last game, then you can just sort of die to the constant waves of illusions spamming themselves at your racks. They don't even really need to commit if PL gets farmed. So Infernity, hopefully everyone will be a useful pick. They won't have to wait around for any stragglers as far as farm goes. And try and put the pressure on early before Phantom Lancer gets tanky, before he gets scary. And again, every single level that Phantom Lancer gains, 4.2 agility gain, which is absolutely absurd. That is 4 damage. That's not really a whole point of armor. I'd have to confirm how much armor that is exactly, but 4.2 damage, 4.2 attack speed, and a truckload of armor to boot. PL, once he gets just to sort of a heart, which is sort of his second pickup after Diffusal, is absolutely terrifying. So we've got more mid bans going out for Infernity. Magnus is going to be removed for the pool here by Striderxd. And Infernity, one problem for them right now is, unless they really, really smash the bottom lane, well, actually the top lane, that's where the defensive tri lane is going to be for Striderxd, is having someone who can farm a mech and a pipe. They need both of them to push up onto the high ground against the Keeper of the Light. Keeper of the Light is just such a pest. If you get something like a Blink up on the Nyx, you can sort of not have the pipe necessarily, because you can just blink the Nyx past everything, jump him on top of the Keeper of the Light, kill the Keeper, pop Carapace, get the initiation, get everyone else up onto the high ground, and then try and take the fight. But if you're going to be slow rolling the push at all, if you're going to be waiting outside the Dire base for any extended period of time, then you're going to want the mech, you're going to want the pipe, because you need that sustain against rank 4 or rank 3 Illuminates just flying through. I mean, even if you get there early, if you get outside of the opponent's base at 20 minutes, if you don't have a mech and a pipe, you're not going to be staying there for very long. And a Keeper of the Light can already be high enough level to have 3 points up and Illuminate. So Clockwork's going to be picked up here, as the offlane Bounty Hunter is going to be taken by Infernity, so they might just be running, it might just be an offlane Bounty Hunter. Bounty Hunter, not a bad matchup for him against the Clockwork. It's a 1v1 situation that he definitely walks all over, so that might just be what they're looking for right now. And Night Stalker actually going to be taken here by the Dire side. This is a risky pick, but it could work out well for them. Yeah, okay, so it's a risky pick. It could work out well for them. A shutdown Night Stalker is going to have an awful time. And Infernity, we'll see what they can find as far as that mid goes. A lot of the staple mids actually have been banned out. We might even see something like a Brewmaster, in fact, right now. Not a bad matchup against the Night Stalker. But talking about the Night Stalker, if Night Stalker and PL both have an awful time, then that's going to be pretty much game, I think, for the Dire side. If Bounty Hunter is 1v1 against Clockwork, then Clockwork's not going to be doing all that much. And if even if he's in a solo offlane position against the Nyx and the Shadow Demon, he's not going to be getting that much farm. And it's actually going to be a Kunkka here by Infernity. So is that Gyrocopter heading towards mid? Kunkka perhaps in an offensive tri lane? We'll have to see very, very soon. Everyone's going to pick up their heroes in just a second. So yeah. Again, Night Stalker, if it works, it works. If he has a good first night, he's going to have enough time to make space for Phantom Lancer, and that's going to be great, and Phantom Lancer's going to get the ball rolling. If Night Stalker gets shut down, then Phantom Lancer's going to get shut down, and that's going to be trouble with two big farmers sort of being on the mat. So over on the side of Infernity, we're going to have Matori playing the Bounty Hunter. It's going to be Kay playing the Kunkka. Looks like he's actually heading towards mid right now. Follow Rio, so Rio is going to be playing the Shadow Demon. Kosan's NS, or Kazan's NS, is going to be on the Gyrocopter, and that leaves the stand-in Setika to play the Nyx Assassin. Over on the Dire side, we've got someone whose name I've already forgot what I was supposed to be calling him. I think it was Shaw or Sean. I think I can actually check lobby chat. Seth. Okay, so this is Seth on the Night Stalker. Big Bonanza is going to be on the Keeper of the Light. Striderxd going to be on the Phantom Lancer. If you're looking for this game in the Binary Beast brackets, that's the name that you're looking for. Bandit Z is going to be on the Rubik, and that leaves Ziu to play the Clockwork. I think that's a little bit more of an S sound, but apologies to him if I'm mangling that pronunciation a little bit. They're just 5-manning down at the bottom rune right now, probably just looking to set some wards up for the Clockwork. Their level 1 teamfight is actually okay, though Infernity's is actually a little bit stronger, frankly. The Setika is the only one scouting out right now.
The battle begins.
So Gyrocopter down on bottom lane is going to be an off-lane bounty hunter who hasn't been pulled a single thing, so we'll see how good a time Matori has. It's going to be a Soul Ring to start for Strider, and looks like it's actually going to be perhaps a tri-lane for this, well, for the bottom lane right now. Kunkka does disconnect, so we're going to have a very quick pause. And Rio is actually on mid right now, so we might be seeing a little bit of a duo mid, trying to put some pressure on the Night Stalker. And we've got some very nice explanations of how the rules in how Dota 2 works compared to League of Legends. So nice work, guys. And everything that I'm seeing so far seems to make sense. I'm not actually a very big LoL player myself, so I can't necessarily confirm one way or the other. Oh God, what am I doing? I've still got overlays up. Whoopsie daisy. Whoops. I'm probably going to be hearing about that in just a second, but yeah, okay, that's fixing the overlays. Okay, so looks like we might actually see a Clockwork tri-lane down on bot, and yeah, I'm gonna get some messages in chat about not having those overlays. That's an LD moment for me. But anyway, Clockwork actually as a hero in a tri-lane is really, really strong. You get the lift as the setup into the cogs, and that's a guaranteed eliminate, and that's a big problem. I mean, with only the Nyx as sort of the deterrent right now down on bottom lane, as soon as they see Shadow Demon on mid, this tri-lane is going to be having a hell of a time. It's going to be a solo Phantom Lancer against the Bounty Hunter. Bounty Hunter hasn't really been pooled anything, though he can look to put the pressure on the PL quite heavily and actually find kills against him. There isn't anything pulled on the Phantom Lancer either, and we're just waiting on the Kunkka to reconnect right now. Yes, yes. Oh, yeah, overlays indeed. Yeah, so you guys will hear me typing, and you'll hear me typing 2 minutes after you see that message. But yeah, it was a little bit slow on fixing the overlays there. We're gonna have an unpause in just a second as Kunkka reconnects to the game, and I'm not sure if Infernity are actually expecting this offensive tri-lane from the Dire side right now. And it's definitely a strong one. We do have the first point picked up in the Rocket Flare as opposed to Cogs by the Clockwork, but he should be able to find a little bit of farm regardless. Nice play there with the Illusions. Ruby just blocking out the pole camp there. And they've got some high ground vision as well from this Lich Ward, which is just peeking out of the bottom of the frame there. So that's a little bit buggy as far as the in-game view goes. So our mid lane matchup is going to be a Kunkka against a Night Stalker. There's actually some pretty good kill potential on the Night Stalker. Lots of harassment going back and forth, especially with the Tidebringer. But Kunkka's actually opted to pick up his first point in Torrent. And Rio, oh, they've chopped in the trees. They're actually looking for some cheesy mid pulls right now. Deny a lot of XP to the Night Stalker. Can they find this? He needs to let the creep attack him. Oh, they only get the range creep. Rio, perhaps not all that well practiced. It is difficult with this creep setup since there's no ranged creeps in it. Kobold's exceptionally easy. Okay, actually, I should explain why. Range creeps are easier to pull. So the way that this works, right, is when a creep attacks you, if you are in aggro range of your creeps, they will detect that you've been attacked, and that's when they make the decision to do something. Big Bonanza not really going to be in trouble. It's a lift up from Bandit just to try and buy him some space, but if a range creep attacks you, then that triggers aggro. When you've only got melee creeps, it's extraordinarily difficult to try and pull these camps, and the Kobold camp, while it's fast, is actually quite difficult since there's only this one ranged creep in amongst it. The 2-minute rune is an invis that spawned down on bot, some pings going out, but we can't actually have Seth, was it? Yeah, Seth leave the lane to try and go and grab that one, and needs to definitely not fall behind as far as XP goes. He's actually opted to pick up an early point in the Crippling Fear, which is a little bit interesting, and Keeper of Light actually going to be making his way up towards top right now. So Dire side actually abandoning this tri-lane, I guess. Strider feeling a little bit of pressure from this Bounty Hunter, and just look at that, right? Matori 11 and 6, doing a great job. Strider down 3 for 1. He has been harassed heavily out of this lane right now. So that's going to be the movement from the Dire side. It's just 2-on-2 for them right now. And we've got an Invis Nyx Assassin on mid, but Seth, I think he would have spotted this one out. They knew that the rune was there. They probably would have seen it picked up. He's still trying to stay in XP range right now. There's the disruption. Is there going to be a soul catcher? There's the torrent. They don't need to use the stun just yet. There's the stun. This is going to be our first blood on mid lane. Oh, he salves up. That's going to be cancelled and giving the last hit to K there. As Sotika tanks the tower perhaps a little bit unnecessarily. But first blood drawn all the same. And Matori not going to be having as much free reign up on top, but actually for Infernity, all three of their big heroes, all three of their big farmers right now, on top of the scoreboard. So, offensive tri-lane, well, for the few minutes that we did have it, not really putting any pressure on, and a nice rotation there from Infernity, getting the Night Stalker shut down. And again, I sort of touched on the fact that the Night Stalker really needs to be having an okay start to try and free up some space for the Phantom Lancer, because Infernity have a really good lineup to try and just gank or go 5-man and just apply pressure in all of its forms. We've got a disruption on mid. The Soul Catcher unfortunately doesn't quite connect, so it looks like Seth is going to be fine to escape, but taking some big damage regardless, and Kunkka actually disconnecting off again. So we're going to have one more pause. He's got his phase boots finished up, 20 for 5, doing a great job on middle lane. That's 5 CS a minute, so pretty impressive right now. Gyrocopter close behind, 14 for 2. And again, Matori doing a great job up on top. Off to a nice start, and gonna have level 6 quite soon as well, so can look to start joining these ganks on middle lane as well. And Night Stalker not going to be having a fun time of that at all. This small camp pull hasn't really been successfully pulled off. God, more bad puns by Rio, but he has already managed to reach level 2, so he's got the Soul Catcher up, and that's pretty much all he needs to start things off. And the Gyrocopter, probably just going to be a carry build for him. We'll see how long the Rubik stays down on this bottom lane. It's a 2v2 situation, and Nyx, well, looking to run some pulls. This camp is actually blocked out by this Observer Ward. It's a nice little ward. Most of the typical block wards for this camp that you do see are up on this range. So people do normally try and de-ward by putting the ward back behind here, but placing it down here makes it a little bit more difficult. And Infernity trying to confirm that they've only got 3 pauses. Yeah, and K having some internet issues. It would be a shame to have the game be a default win or something like that because of a lack of pauses, but I guess them's the rules. Well, we'll have to see. Hopefully we'll have a nice game without too many pause breaks and things like that. But I have to say, things are off to a pretty good start for Infernity. And just Rio asking for some clarification on the rules right now. Do we actually have an Observer Ward up on one of these supports somewhere? I'm gonna Sentry Ward down, trying to spot out the Dire Wards right now. They've got one down here. Looks like the other one may have been, yeah, the other one was over here. It's been de-warded. So nicely played there by IN. They've got Rune Vision on, well, not on both sides, but they've got some high ground vision as well, which is nice for finding these ganks. Nice for finding these ganks on the Night Stalker. And it shouldn't be lagging. I haven't dropped any frames. Again, I do often, I guess, claim Australian internet issues, but it looks like everything's more or less stable today. So that's always nice. And okay, so just some clarification on the rules there as far as pauses go. K is going to reconnect into the game, so he'll be back in just a second. And yeah, I mean, Nyx actually has his second point picked up in Carapace, so no mana burn for him right now. Maybe I was expecting the Keeper of Life to be down here a little bit longer. But yeah, it looks like K is having a couple of issues. And I can actually check pings for you guys as well, since I'm actually the broadcaster. So it's a little bit all over the place for both sides, but pretty much hovering around 150, which is definitely a playable MS. And we're going to have an unpause in just a second. We'll see how much pressure they're able to put on the Phantom Lancer. Fortunately, if they do manage to put a lot of pressure on the Night Stalker, then he's not going to be having a good time. And then from there, they can start to look towards the PL. The Bounty Hunter are going to be a big help as well as far as killing that Phantom Lancer off. And we've still got XP split two ways down on this bottom lane for the Rubik. And the Clockwork, they haven't found any kills, but they haven't died either. So it's not necessarily terrible. And just make sure that Clockwork does at least secure a little bit of farm. Doing a pretty good job right now. The 4-minute Urn, double damage picked up by Rio, or I suppose denied by Rio. K still has his phase boots waiting in his stash. And what was actually dropped off there for Matori, just finishing off his magic wand. And gets a TP scroll dropped off, trying to dodge his way out of the way of the Illuminate there. Nice little play. There's a sentry ward down in lane, so started now catching up heavily as far as CS goes, and there's not a whole lot the Bounty Hunter could do in this solo situation. Is there going to be a torrent? It's a little bit slow from K, so maybe a bit of bad coordination there. Could have been a bit of a spike as well. Again, he did say that earlier, so. So the guy just continues to pull down on bot. Fast level 6 going to be nice as far as putting the pressure on the PL. And even just killing off the Night Stalker. He's a little bit underleveled, and we've almost made our way into the first night as well, and he's only level 4. So it looks like Rio has actually been a little bit successful with small camp pull. The trees have now respawned, and the one death up on the Night Stalker as well has been a problem. K doesn't actually have all that many denies. We've got a fortification popping off. Well, I guess just for top right now. Matori wanting to hold on to that one as long as he possibly can. And there's some pretty good push power, obviously, between the PL and the Coddle. As night falls, Bandit Z makes his way towards mid. And not sure if this one would have been spotted out by Infernity. It might have been a little bit premature, especially with this ward up on the high ground. So K may be suspecting what's going on. We've got an Illusion Rune as our 6-minute. Picked up by Rio, moving down and around. Then we've actually got Matori making his way towards mid. He's got the track up as well. There's disruption up on the Night Stalker. They need this torrent to connect. Looks like it will. The track up as well. This is going to be a kill going the way of Infernity. Now turning their way towards Bandit Z. Can he make his way back behind the tower? There's nothing else left to stop him, so he's going to be fine, but has to watch as the Night Stalker drops down on bot. Kosans, or I'm going to have to have someone confirm that name for me, but I'm going to call him Kosans for now. Just putting some harassment down on the Clockwork, and especially while the Rubik is away, he can definitely afford to do so. Matori going to be having a quick stop off up on top of this time around. And again, Strider doing a pretty good job as far as that CS goes. But Infernity actually have some great AoE damage to clear out the illusions, at least early on. Night Stalker stalking down towards bot, but he's only level 5 and there's no one else here to try and help him find this gank, and he's not really strong enough to try and dive the tower, so just going to be coming down to try and get a little bit of farm, but he might actually be the one in trouble right now. Clockwork's been off the map for a very long time, and Infernity have to suspect that he's doing something, but he's not actually level 6 just yet, so can't really look to do anything with the hookshot. So XP actually becoming a little bit of a problem for the Dire side, and it's almost a 2k lead in favor of the Radiant, along with over a 2k gold lead as well, so just doing a little bit better as far as that farm goes. PL is getting the ball rolling, but Night Stalker having a bad time. This first night, we'll see how much he's going to be able to get done. And I mean, no bottle, no urn. He went for boots to try and get a little bit more survivability up on mid, but yeah, he's wandering around a little bit helplessly right now. And there's a whole bunch of great wards from Infernity as well, spotting out every single movement. Picks himself up at double damage, but this one spotted as well. And all of these wards paired with a sentry as well to make sure that they are not dewarded and that there isn't vision for the Dire side. So the Dire are actually playing extraordinarily blind right now. And Seth makes his way down into the Radiant jungle, but he has no idea where absolutely anybody is on Infernity right now. And that means that they could all be huddling behind a tower, they could be smoked, or they could just have TPs ready to go. We've got a disruption up on the Clockwork on mid. The cogs are going to will be thrown out, but it just catches them in with the illusions. Just right-clicking away, the track goes down as well. So a track kill going the way of 3 there for Infernity, and extended their lead out to a 2-3-0. And down on bot, oh, Seth, he's in trouble. We've got a call down in over the top. Gonna try and escape, but now trapped in with the rocket barrage. Kosans finds himself a kill, bringing Infernity up to 4-0. So Night Stalker, that's pretty much the first night gone. He doesn't want to die whatsoever during the night. Coddle gonna do the best that he can to try and slow down the push on mid, and he's already got that 3rd point up in the Illuminate. So touched on that during the draft. It is going to be difficult for Infernity to try and push up onto the high ground, but if they establish a significant enough farm lead, it shouldn't be a big deal. And again, especially with the Nyx, they've got some good tools to try and break in and deal with the Keeper of the Light, especially if he gets up enough farm to pick up a Blink Dagger. And Strider still farming away. I mean, Dire Side down, but not out. It's really unfortunate that Night Stalker is this far behind, and Clockwork not up to level 6 either. Get a little bit of vision on Seneca, but that actually announces their approach, so he's just going to back off a little bit. In comes Rio. The stun, not sure if that one connected. We did see the disruption bounce. There was no damage. Oh, the Clockwork eating the Rocket Barrage. The call down in over the top. Seth trying to make his escape. Still fairly speedy. Nothing left on Seneca either. A little bit of miscommunication, but no, Rio finds that kill. And wow, that was actually a lot of damage from the Shadow Poison. Demonic Purge just cooling down right now, and he only just barely got level 6 as well, so it wasn't the damage from that. Anywho, so that's a 6-0 lead right now for Infernity. Night Stalker's still having an absolutely terrible time, and at the same time, Rubik did die solo on mid to Kunkka, so Bandit Z dropping there. Clockwork trying to find a little bit of farm down on bot. Still would really love to have that hook shot up. And PL, not a hero that can sort of make things happen in the mid game to try and hold onto this game for the Dire side. They are still holding onto their tower as well, and we did just breach 10 minutes, so I'll just switch over to net worth. And K maybe in trouble on mid, but he's already got Lothar's up 10 minutes into the game. This is an extremely farmed Kunkka, and we don't have any anti-invis brought either. Look at Night Stalker just get chunked there by that Lothar's hit. That's absolutely absurd. So Iron, a lot of tools right now to try and just put pressure on, try and find towers. They're definitely in an advantageous position pretty much on all of their heroes. And Matori finding even a little bit more farm up on top. Interesting to see that he went for the 4th point in the Shuriken Toss, since Shuriken Toss has got to be one of the most weirdly scaling abilities in the entire game. You start at 100, you get another 100 for the 2nd point, you get 50 for the 3rd point, and then you get 75 for the last point. It's absolutely it's so weird, frankly, but gonna be choosing to max it out in this game. We do sometimes see people opt to either only go 2 points, and then I guess the other alternative is 5. If you decide that the 3rd point is worth it, then you're pretty much deciding that the 4th point is as well. And its mana cost scales a little bit more sensibly. We're going to have a Purge out on Striderxd. He's dusted up as well. Doesn't actually have a Diffusal up to try and purge that one off. So he's going to drop. Infernity find themselves a nice gank. And again, just with all of the strength that these supports have coming off the kills in the other lanes, they can go and do whatever they damn well please on the map right now. Bandit Z doing a little bit of dewarding down on bot, so trying to create a little bit of space for the Night Stalker, but we're almost into our 2nd daytime right now, and NS has found nothing but 4 deaths so far this game. So NS not a hero that can really find recovery farm or recovery space, and now it's daytime, he's got nada. So this is really trouble for the Dire side right now. They can hide behind the Keeper of the Light for a very long time, but Infernity not going to be letting them do so. We've got the hook shot up on the Clockwork right now, so just chilling out on mid lane. We've got a sentry ward dropped by Infernity at the same time. And Amatori just farming away a little bit up on top, trying to finish up his drum and putting some pressure on the tower. We've actually got Strider making his way towards mid. What was stolen by Bandit Z? Actually managed to grab the rank 4 Torrent. Nice pickup there. Seneca goes forward. They know that there isn't a sentry ward down right now. There's a disruption out. Big Bonanza going to be in trouble. The Vendetta to start pretty much immediately dead. One more right click going to do it. The boat flies in over the top. Bandit Z and the Clockwork already stunned up. Throws out the cogs, doing some nice damage to Seneca, who's now completely out of mana. Pops off the stick charges just to bring himself back up. Only one kill. Only one kill so far, and Bandit Z gets his hand on the Carapace. Look at that Kunkka damage, and at the same time, the tier 1 falls down on bot. Bandit Z does get a reflect. The Torrent goes out. It's not gonna clip him, but the track kill found regardless with the Shuriken Toss. Seth tries to man up on Kunkka, but he's just gonna be running himself away, and the Illusion is trying to do the best that they can, and Clockwork's still alive, but Matori, he's not done. One more Shuriken Toss finds him a track kill, and Strider comes back in to throw out one more Spirit Lance, but still no kill on the board for the Dire side, and Bonanza throws out the Illuminate, does actually get that one reflected. He needs to be careful. And had Rio actually thrown out the Purge, he might have been able to find that kill. So maybe not expecting that Carapace to do as much damage as it did. So yeah, 11-0 the lead right now for Infernity, and that's probably the fastest I've ever seen a 10k XP and a 10k gold lead, only 14 minutes in. right now. They are doing absolutely. There's a little bit more map control claimed by the Dire side right now, so doing what they need to do to try and find some more farming space on the Phantom Lancer. But Night Stalker, he's just not doing anything right now. And I mean, talked about it during the draft. He needed to be strong enough to make space for the Phantom Lancer, and with that dual lane run on mid, with the mildly successful mid pulls that were run, he is in a really bad spot right now. And, I mean, normally you say, okay, I'm having an okay time as Night Stalker if I'm level 7 heading into that first night. Anything on the top is gravy, and then, you know, maybe bottle and earn as some nice farm. Bounty Hunter actually finds a solo kill, as I say that, down by the Dire Secret Shop of all places. Bandit Z manages to grab onto the rank 1 Shadow Walk. And a nice hookshot through from the Clockwork. Doesn't actually have cogs up for a second, doing some good damage with the battery assault. But Matori just gets the track move speed up along with those phase boots and gonna be fine to escape. Oh, and Striderxd caught out up on top. He's gonna be killed off. Dominating streak here by IN, and 13 now the lead for Infernity. Again, this is not looking promising for the Dire. They've got space, they've got vision, they've got a Keeper of the Light to try and stall the game out. But his counter push, again, not going to be all that strong, especially against someone like a Nyx Assassin, who can just look to eliminate with the Carapace. Clockwork comes up, Bandit Z is waiting around as well, and Seneca actually pretty low on mana, lifted back straight into the cogs, throws out a nuke. Night Stalker comes in, but the call down in over the top. Will Seneca be able to survive? Able to get the Carapace off, does do so. Seth down trouble, the boat flies through, crushing there, and still no kill picked up by the Dire. This is looking bad. Matori making his way towards his BKB. The top 3 farmers on the map right now do belong to the Radiant side. And Infernity, probably absolutely no problem to claim this tier 1 tower on mid. K gonna be grabbing that, and he's actually got mini crit. The Crystallis already finished up. There was a minor change to Kunkka recently in that you can't get a crit multiplier on, well, not a change to Kunkka, but a change to the Lothars. Shadowblade, god. In that you can't get a crit multiplier on the bonus damage. So if he crits, then his base damage is being multiplied by that crit, and then he's getting the Lothar's damage on top. So it's not bad, but it's not as ridiculously strong as it used to be. Oh, and Matori, he's got a double damage. He's not wasting any time. Doesn't even need the backstab. Track out. Striderxd gonna be dropping right now, and one more in the hands of Infernity. So that's still trying to farm on bot, but 0-6-0. This is not a game that you want to be having at all by for Night Stalker, and that defensive ward line keeps moving further and further back for the Dire side right now. And Matori has his Mithril Hammer already picked up. If you would like to purchase it, we've got a Vendetta up on Seneca. It's going to be revealed in just a second. It's only a rank 1 Vendetta. And Zio just jumps him straight into the cogs. Nice 2-man impale through, however. And Kozan's just trying to get his way in there right now. Lots of TPs fly in. Nice blinding light as well. And now everyone on the retreat. The call down thrown. And oh, they're going to try and turn around. Nice, huge impale. Connects on 4. Matori's not done. Throws out the shuriken. Nyx does die. That's the first kill that Dire has claimed so far. But it was 1 track kill going the way of the Radiant side. So not an unworthy trade, though. Looks like Nyx did have a bit of a streak to end as well. No, he didn't actually. Only 1 kill, lots of assists. So not a huge pickup for the Dire side, but they got to take whatever they can get at this point. And Infernity is going to be pushing a little bit down on bot. Again, it's still daytime. Night Stalker's not really doing anything. He's up to level 8, so he does now have the maxed out Void, but definitely a long way behind the standard timings that we would be expecting to see. And just completely abandoning his bottle, just going to be heading his way towards some phase boots right now. We are well past the point where rune control is a huge deal in this game. Rio now making his way towards that mech. We don't really have a natural pipe carrier over on IN, but we'll see if it actually matters. K, oh god, 1 more kill from Matori on mid. Bandit Z jumps himself in. The Kosans is still here. Night Stalker running through. He's induced this night with darkness, but he's taking so much damage from the rocket barrage. Has to back himself off, and Gyrocopter, he's not done. He's still got flak. He's still got call down. Strider wants him. There's a track thrown out onto the illusion there. Turns around for some damage. Nice blinding light, and not actually going to be finding anyone with that call down. Oh, Seth might be clipped by the edge. They want this Gyrocopter dead. They want him dead now. And actually went back for the Helm of the Dominator before going for his Shadow Blade. In comes K. He's looking for blood. And Sedek getting over the top. He's already going to be able to kill off Seth. Now looking at Big Bonanza. He's going to be purged. And he's now in trouble. Tries to throw out one more Illuminate as the Rubik hits the floor as well. That's a 1-for-3 exchange in favor of Infernity. And still a 20 kill lead for them. Over 15k XP. And making our way towards 20k gold. The swing as well. And Kanka, Helm of the Dominator picked up. Why not? A little bit of lifesteal. Never has to head back to base. And he's just doing ridiculously right now. I mean, Daedalus is going to be online quite soon, and PL just doesn't even have close to the survivability to try and survive those cleaves at the moment. Matori actually opted to open with the right click there, so not going for the track. Strider's going to be able to get into the doppelwalk and escape them. Matori maybe just looking to chase him off. Clockwork waiting around on the side, but Matori's actually going to be coming on in just a second, and Clockwork, this is going to be trouble for him in just a second. It is now Natural Night, so Seth's a little bit happier with that. We've got Disruption going out. Matori comes in from the side. Oh, the Torrent connects as well. Soulcatcher, Clockwork already dead, does manage to get the cogs off to buy some space, but PL now comes in, and somehow Infernity bounced themselves over the top of those cogs. Do manage to escape what was stolen there by Bandit Z. Don't think it really matters. He got the ghost ship but can't get it off. Sedeka and Matori going to work the BKB up on the bounty hunter. Big Bonanza now the target. Matori wants Seth. Will find one track kill. Gets one more track kill out. Double kill for him. Godlike streak. Strider trying to stand his ground, but purged up. He's going to drop as well. Beyond godlike triple kill for the bounty hunter. And still only the 2 kills picked up for the Dire side. Illusions of Bounty Hunter spawned up right now to try and just push this out a little bit more. Kosan is going to make his way up towards top. And it's actually pretty poor, I gotta say. Only 7.7k gold up in the bank. I guess he's just been wandering around the map quite a bit. And I guess it's not really fair to compare him to the Kanka and the Bounty Hunter right now. His gold per minute is still pretty good. And you know you're in trouble when the Nyx Assassin is pretty much 2k gold over the top of the Phantom Lancer right now. So Nyx, wow, enough for a blink up in the bank, and the GG well played is going to be called by the Dire side. They are just going to tap out, and that's going to be it for them for this tournament. So Infernity, they're going to advance. Rio, a little bit of troll there, going to be canceling Sedeka's TPs, so he's not going to be able to have his Blink Dagger in the final score screen unless the Dire don't disconnect off quickly enough, but they do start to drop out now. So nicely played by Infernity. Every lane working out fantastically, and frankly, I mean, no pressure applied whatsoever from the Dire side, and really just goes to show how useful Night Stalker is with a bad start. The answer is not very. So everyone's going to disconnect off. We'll have the final score screen in just a second. I'll wait around for that for the sake of the VODs, but a reminder, well, you guys should probably know what you're watching, but this is the Adroit's TT Esports Dota 2 Weekly. This is week 2 of this weekly event. We've got 4 of these in February. It's between North American and European teams. So thanks everyone for tuning in. I've been Basket. If you want to support TT Esports or Adroit's, there are a whole bunch of links that I'll probably drop in chat. It's Adroit's tweets on Twitter and TT Esports on Twitter, so I'll throw those 2 out right now. But this is still only round 2 of this tournament. We've got lots more Dota action coming up soon. So stay tuned in, guys. We'll be back in just a minute with some more. Thanks, everyone.